Alright. This will be a short howler for an hour on Ayre and the Crystal Comet. The reason it will be short is perhaps immediately evident to you guys. Yes, that is a terrible resolution, and yes, that is a bad frame rate. Unfortunately, this is a pre-release beta version, so I suppose I'll cut it some slack, but this runs like crap. And there's no graphical options. Play, credits, quit. Language, I assume. Looks like. So we're just gonna struggle through this for a little bit. If you don't want to watch this video, I kind of understand, but this was a review key I received, and thus, since it is a review key, I can look at that. Look at how much worse it gets when it just turns the camera towards that direction. Since this is a review key, I need to review it to the best of my ability. And honestly, when I accept review keys, I put my faith in the developer to provide graphical options and ways to adjust, and I pick games that I think my computer can handle. Because I do have an aging computer, and I do plan on upgrading it soon, but I have to wait, you know? I have to wait till I have the money for it, and the circumstances they're starting to align. The circumstances are starting to align, but we're not quite there yet, so maybe the graphical options will be there after you start. Perhaps. This actually is a really cool idea for a game. You are a person. I traveled far from home with my best friend Red, the last of his kind. No one had seen a dragon in hundreds of years. Legend tell of the Sky Riders, an ancient civilization of dragon riders who came from the northern mountains. I followed their trail to this valley where I hoped to learn more about them. But strange objects on the field below caught my attention. I need to check that out. Alright, cool. The game didn't lock the mouse. That's nice. Okay, now is it locked? Oh, cool. So, this game is meant to be in full screen. I forced windowed it, but it seems that the mouse does not know how to stay in the window. So, if I try to click when I'm out of the window, then yeah, obviously I'll click out of the window. As far as options, when you open... Well, let's see here. There might be options. Oh, look, we do have options. Alright, let me make the resolution bigger so I can actually see what I'm doing. Hey... Not sure why you hid the options past the title screen, but okay. Alright. I mean, Serial, I'll eat my words, you're right. They did have options past. The question is, did that make a difference? Well, let's see. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it makes a huge difference, sadly to say. Turned everything down super low. Why do these games default to ultra settings though? There's usually an assumption that everybody's playing games on like tip-top form computers. Something I've noticed anyways, that seems to be an assumption made by a lot of developers. So there's some more settings over here. Let's turn the shadow distance, the grass distance, the grass density, the tree distance, the view distance. I'll leave the field of view alone. Let's turn that all down. Right. How about now? Well, that certainly did disable a lot of things. It's still laggy. Right. There's basically no view distance, and it still lags, which is kind of impressive to me. In sort of a sad way, but it's still impressive. Again, this is an early form, so I don't know how much slack I like to cut a game for being just, oh, this is early stage. I should give it a break, but I don't. There's a limit to my tolerance of any issues. It may be an early version, but it's still a released version. You know what I mean? It's still a version where the developer was like, I think this is in a good enough state to start showing off to people. And, well, I mean, on a better computer, I suppose it might be. But, well. Yeah, but on good PCs you can turn the options up to low, but bad PCs won't get to the options on high. This is exactly it. A computer that is weak needs to lower the graphical settings. If a game starts with high graphical settings and also starts with a 3D rendered title screen, or forces you to start the game up before it adjusts the options, before you can adjust the options, then you basically have to put your computer through a lot of shit, a lot of CPU usage, a lot of, general wear, just to get to a point where you can lower the settings. And that is bad design. And so I think the most smartest thing to do is to have the settings on average for a game on default. Or, even better, ask the player what they would like to set before the game even really gets going. Like, even before the title screen. Like, hey, set your options. And then you set your options. You know how like when you play a horror game, and a lot of times the horror game will be like, first thing, before you even get to the title screen, it'll be like, alright, make sure your brightness is set so you can barely see this object and you can see this object. Like, that's one of the first things it does. Like, the game immediately calibrates your brightness settings because it matters to the horror game. Why can't that calibration be done for general graphical settings as well? You could have a simple prompt, like, would you like to manually set up your settings, and there's an automatic button. Those that don't want to mess with it because they have a great computer, they just don't want to be ours, they can just hit the automatic button to have it automatically decide what the best settings are. I've seen numerous games have automatic settings. But if those who want to tweak it around and be like, well, okay, I do need to make some adjustments, can just immediately do so. Like, it's just something that doesn't exist, doesn't happen, but should. Look at this draw distance, by the way. And again, the game is not mouse locking me, so I have to just... What is the sound when I walk downstairs? I mean, this is playable now, certainly. I mean, it's a generous term, but it is. Sort of. Oh, I took a photo. Hi. Durg. You have a big schnauzer. Holy shit. But I can tell you right now, look at how many planes there are on this grass, right? You can literally count the number of, like, polygons. So why in the hell is this still running poorly? I should have nothing but 60 frames with how low of visual distance and visual quality I have here. Yeah, my computer's aging. I'll give you that. But it's not aging to the point where this would bring it down onto its knees. Like, that's... Did you enable window mode properly in the options? That's true. I did not properly enable it, I guess. I mean, I'd have to go back to, like, boop, and then boop. Now I have properly enabled windowed mode. I have enabled window mode intentionally the way it wanted to be enabled. So, the mouse is still not locked. Really? Am I tilting my dragon by trying to jump on it? That's amazing. Oh, this is... Oh. Why is this acceptable? This day and age. But... Righto. I don't know where I'm going because I have the draw distance so low, I have no idea where I'm flying. Let's go this way. To the north. To the north. That's where we'll go. All right. Well, off we go then. Somehow I turned around by trying to slow down. Okay. Of course, if I were to go over to the options, that suddenly I cannot select for some reason. Huh. Can I only change options on the ground? Oh, that was a cloud, apparently. Okay. Do a barrel roll! This is just me holding W, by the way. I found water. Can I use the options now? Cool. Oh, only if I like click at the very top. Okay. But yeah, so what if I made the view distance actually something where I could see where I'm going? That's a little bit better. I keep getting achievements for doing basic things like getting wet. Is this an art game made by somebody who doesn't know game design? Well, you can look this up yourself. Ayre. Why don't you look it up and try to see what you can find out about this game? All I know is that it looked pretty, and honestly, again, I saw a screenshot of this game, and it looked like this, and I was like, yeah, I could totally run this. This is fine. I mean, look how many... It looks really simple. I think we'll be fine. We can run this, and then I can't. It turns out I was wrong. Because that's the thing, like... I've seen this happen. Look, it's not just a weak computer issue. I've seen this happen with Markiplier when he plays like random indie games and stuff. Markiplier obviously has one hell of a computer, but there's times where he plays a game and it's just legging the fuck out on his feet, and it's not even his fault. It's not his computer's fault either. It's just that bad, you know? That badly put together. How do I get off my dragon? How do I get off my dragon? I have no idea. I'm gonna do a loop-de-loop because I don't really care. See, it's a neat looking game, but yeah, everything starts and ends with how the performance is. And this is an early version, sure, but it needs a lot of fixes to be, in my opinion, quality. Many greens for us. We have been waiting quite some time for help. We admit surprise. We did not expect to find your kind here. We are. How to form our construct in your mind? Please allow us to access your thought structure. We are the crystal comet. Scattered across these valleys are fragments of us. We're too weak to reconstitute our form. Please collect at least 5 of us and bring us together. We need your help. Oh, okay. I guess I should say, this computer can run Just Cause 2. I know Just Cause 2 is a bit old, but if you ever look at how pretty that game is, and you compare it to this, you realize how important performance is at that point. Oh. I'm luring buttons. 3. Okay. Why do you say that, Chris? It's an odd question. Is this game in Java? No, it's Unity. Which, by the way, I think is a fine engine, and there's some wonderful games made in it, but I admit, when I see a random indie game and then I find out it's in Unity, I start getting a little bit nervous. Well, it said to return with 5, so I'm going to return with 5. Let's see what this does. I see the Jumpy was programmed in a wonderful fashion. Yeah, that's a good animation. No problems here. Thank you for bringing some of us back together. We are very grateful. When we crashed here, we were scattered upon impact. We understand our construct is difficulty for you to understand. Is difficulty? Allow us to try and explain. You are an individual, one organism. While you while your species is many, each is still a separate organism. We are one. We are a single unit. We may be separated, but we are still connected. But this separation weakens us. We do not have the energy to become whole again in this state, which is why we need your help to come back together. Please come back after you've collected at least 50 of us. I see. That your collected consciousness means you have wonderful grammar, I see. I was referencing poke roll. I know, I understood that. I just don't understand why Riley plus Dragon makes... By the way, I don't know actually how to mount my dragon. The only way I figured it out was by throwing him off a cliff and then jumping on his back from there. I don't actually know how I'm supposed to just... Let's look at the controls. Let's look at the controls. Where are the controls? I think I asked for too much. Hey, hold on. Are these like stat points? I think these are like stat points. I was asking because Java likes to go up your processor. Hello, G3D Java game. How do you make your wrist would you like 3D Java game? Yes, please. Button mapping. Oh yeah, there it is. Right. Mount with E. Oh, what the fuck is it that simple? Okay. Sorry, I saw an up arrow and I figured I needed to find a way to go up. Apparently that was not the answer. If anybody thinks I'm being too negative on this game, I do apologize. Look, we literally just before this game went through a video driver crash due to the previous game I was playing today being kind of an asshole to my computer. So I guess I don't have the highest tolerance right now. I actually was picking Ayre to follow up that game because I thought it seemed relaxing. It is relaxing. It's definitely got a relaxing atmosphere. But I was following it up thinking, okay, no, there's no way that we'd run into another game that has performance issues quite like the previous one. And I guess that's true. I mean, we're not having the video driver crash this time, but it's a little disappointing. It's honestly a little bit wearing in general. How often I play indie games. I like playing indie games. I like playing games that nobody's heard of. I like playing games that are something like that I can stream and everybody's like, I never heard of this. Let me take a look. I like playing games like that. I think it's interesting. But why is it that so many indie games though, like, they just, there's so few developers to consider how the game is running. It's all about, you know, the story they want to do, the art they want to do, their vision, the way the story, the way the gameplay is, or something. But it's rarely ever about performance. Performance is this like unsung hero that never really gets recognized. You have found a new piece of armor. Sweet. Do I actually want to pick it up? There's nothing here anymore. No, no. The armor is clearly just sitting. Okay, that's actually a bad feature. If I can find random collectibles, and those collectibles stay where they are visibly, there's nothing here anymore. That's a lie. It's right there. So wait. So I could be flying around, see a new collectible. Oh, look, a new piece of armor. Then I can go up to it, and I'm like, oh, wait, that's one I collected before. That's right, it just sticks around. That's bad design. Why would it stick around? Make it go off the pedestal. Make it obvious that it's not there anymore. So I don't just get tricked and come back later thinking that I found a new piece of armor. Come on. What? Also, what sense does it make that I picked up a piece of armor, but there's still one there? But beyond that, just the... Like, imagine if these gems I was picking up remained there. Their model remained there after I picked them up. But if I walked over them, it said... They, like, went slightly transparent or said, like, oh, I've already collected this one. That would suck. How... Designing a collectathon and not having the collectible disappear, that's just absurd. I mean, I'm glad the crystals disappear, but... Yeah, it appears that the other collectibles might not. Unless that one glitched. I guess that's possible that one may have just glitched, but kind of a troublesome glitch. Maybe people don't get what makes a collectathon good. Agreed. At least I learned the whistle button. Oh, is that what you... Okay, that makes more sense why you brought it up now. Stuck on his wing. Okay. I mean, the music's nice. I'll definitely give the music a little, you know, like, hey, this is nice. This is pretty. But, yeah, I admit, it's a general low tolerance. I've been doing Howler for an hour for, what, over 3 years? How many episodes am I up to at this point on Howler for an hour? Let me find that out. I would like to double check this. I've had some really great Howler for an Hour episodes too. I've really enjoyed some of the games I've checked out. I've been really thankful that I got review keys and got the ability to check out cool games. Howler for an Hour has been a real treat a lot of times. But sometimes, after 514 videos on it, that is actually how many Howlers I've made, 514 episodes of this. Sheesh. Holy crap, that's a lot. After 514 episodes, I have to admit, I get a little bit tired when developers are a little bit lazy with performance. I mean, it's one thing if a game's badly optimized, but at least it does have the video settings. I can kind of give that a pass. But when a game doesn't even have video settings, well, that's a lot of games. The number of games that don't even have the ability to knock them out of full screen is absurd. And obviously that's less of an issue if I had 2 monitors. But as a person with 1 monitor, I do like to have my chat off to the side, and I generally play games in windowed mode. I like playing games in windowed mode. I prefer it. Even if I can run the game well outside of windowed mode, I still prefer it because it makes it easier to do other things while playing the game, whether or not I'm streaming it. Not to mention, it just generally guarantees better performance if I don't have to cover my entire screen with a game. So, at the very least, giving that option is, yeah. A lot of people have other things to do in addition to playing games on the computer. Exactly. And not everybody has a dual monitor setup. I think expecting people to have a second monitor is kind of unreasonable. It's not exactly super expensive to get that setup going, but like, logistically it can be tricky. Like, my desk setup technically has room for another monitor, but I'd really have to consider what the fuck I'm doing with my, like, speakers. And what I would be doing with, well, mostly speakers. I could probably figure it out, a second monitor, but, like, not with this computer, though. Definitely not with this computer. New computer, sure, but this computer, I don't think I want to strain this computer and having to run a second fucking screen. That seems unnecessary. Admittedly, the few times I've messed with other people's dual monitor setups, that is to say I've been on their computer when they have a dual monitor setup, I find it bizarre. I find it weird, uncomfortable. Like I have too much space. Like I had a cozy little home, and then all of a sudden the cozy little bedroom is just like fucking massive, and it's like, okay, well, there's too much space now. You know, it feels weird, a second monitor. It's functional, sure, but I don't know how much I like it. I think just one nicely sized monitor is preferable. This monitor I'm using is 1920 by 1080, which I find pretty comfortable overall. But yeah, this game does have graphical options, but I wouldn't say they made a huge difference. And I know for a fact this is taxing probably exploited on my computer. If I switch back to the bone feed right now, hold on. If I switch back to the bone feed right now, okay, it actually did stabilize. That's cool. The bone animation looks fine, you know, relatively. I think it's a little bit choppy, but not too bad. Prove your worthiness. Fly swift and true through your rings and earn a boon for your winged steed. Sure, why not? By the way, the fact the mouse isn't locking indicates to me that the windowed mode wasn't terribly well designed. Oh, overturning. Oh, this. Now that I'm trying to precise fly, I'm realizing just how leggy the dragon is. The dragon doesn't turn, and then he just turns a ton, to put it simply. This is literally me trying to go straight. I know it doesn't appear to be, but if I tap, I have to wait a bit. I have to, like, if I hold D to move right for a second, he's going to make a massive turn, but it's going to be a few seconds before he does, if that makes any sense. So I just have to kind of, like, predict. I can do that with slight turns, like I'm doing right now, but if I have to make a big turn, then fuck me. Oh. Like right here, this might be tricky. Guess the music changed when I did this little Superman 64 minigame. You know, I keep worrying. My mouse is currently hovering around the X button that would close the game because of the lack of mouse lock, and it's making me a little bit nervous. So, like, yeah, I don't hate this game. It's just, man, you could have a pretty decent game completely ruined by just it not being able to run correctly, and I could tell this game, despite having graphical options, is not running very well. Again, early version, so I'll certainly commend the game if I'll certainly commend the developer if by the time this fully releases it's fixed up, but truth of the matter is this is still a version that you wanted to show off to the public. Not only that, this is a version that has review keys. You wanted me to review off of this. You wanted me to stream this. You wanted me to publicize this. And so, given all that, make it run well. It's a version that's supposed to present and show off the quality of the game. It may not be the final version, but it's certainly there to prove itself, and it's not proving itself very well. Even if I got past the performance issues, what do we have here? As somebody said earlier, I don't remember who said it, but I think it was Carsters that said, this is just an empty world with stuff to collect. That's not what makes a collectathon good. And that's true. And I can understand just doing this for... You must train harder. I'm sorry. Success comes to those who challenge themselves. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a great challenge with these fucking flying controls. Watch, I'll demonstrate. I'm going to press W, and then we're going to see how fast... I'm going to let you know when I press the key, and then I'm going to let you know when I release the key, and we'll see how fast the dragon reacts. Press release. Okay? Press release. Do you see that? Do you see I'm able to finish the statement press release before anything moves? Here, I'll do it with D. Press release. Okay, he didn't really turn that much. Press release. Press release. Press release. And yeah, that ring challenge, I thought I had all the time in the world because it wasn't counting down, it was counting up. So I finished it and then it's like, you failed. I don't even know what I failed by. What was the timer? What was the time limit? 2 minutes? A minute and a half? Fucking, I don't know. So that's cool. Glad that you can't even design a suit. Look, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to be brutal here for a minute. Superman 64's Fly Through Rings challenge was better designed than that challenge. And that's not a good thing to say. Because in Superman 64, I knew how much time I had before I lose. And this one you don't. So... And honestly, I want to say, oh, but at least... But, you know, the Superman 64's controls for that was shit. Well, again, press and release. Move. Press and release. Move. Press and release. Move. Yeah, you get the point. I said that. Oh, you are the one that said that's here. Well, it is a barren world. You're right. And barren worlds can work in video games. Look at Shadow of the Colossus. But it has to be done with a certain amount of immersion and, well, I guess, graphical quality at that point. If you want a barren world where there isn't a lot going on, there needs to be little details, little things to look at. And, I mean, this world's alright, I guess, but this art style doesn't do a whole lot for me. I don't know about you guys. It looks fine. Honestly, it looked great in the trailers. I thought it looked pretty nice in the trailers, but, like, now that I know what's going on, I just don't have much to say. It's a big world, and there's not much going on. I guess I can look for collectibles. Okay, let's see what this is. That was a weird gain off animation I did. What's this? Gateway Bridge was built by the Earth Movers long before the first Dragon Riders. When the Sky Riders first arrived in Terra, travel was by foot or riverboat. The Earth Movers built many structures across Terra. The Earth Movers' magic could coax the hills to lay flat. Unfortunately, the last Earth Movers were lost in Indine. Okay, there's like plot. There's like lore. That's kind of neat, but like, there's nothing wrong with that lore. You do realize you sometimes sound like Tucker. I mean, it's not too surprising, really. Bridge to nowhere. So there's lore deposits. There's the crystals we need to gather, of which I'm probably not going to get 50 before I stop playing. But yeah. What the fuck? Okay. I like how the dragon got yeeted into. I want to point. What are you doing? Watch the dragon when I whistle. I see. Man, he's really scared of my whistling. He jumps right straight up in the air whenever I do it. All right. Charlie Tucker got the CVA. What? I never knew. I wonder. Darn. I was wondering if I could take fall damage. The answer seems to be no. What happens? Okay, you know what we gotta check though? With somewhat... swimming? Okay. I've done it. What is this paddle? This looks more like a gimme, 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 gimme sort of motion. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm gonna take this and this and this and this and this. What is this paddle? This is a silly paddle. You can bend your legs, you know, when you swim. It's entirely fine. Here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna serve two purposes. One, figure out how big this place is. Two, figure out what happens when I get to the edge. And you're just gonna go north. And again, I'm not a perfectionist. I don't care if a game's perfect. I don't care if it has jank. It's fine. I played some really janky games that had a lot of bugs, but I enjoyed them all the same because the developers cared about the game, as was usually evident by them like commenting in the video or something. You have a map, I think. You think? What the fuck was that noise? Whoa, what? Oh yeah, I do. Where am I? Where am I, though? By the way, there's no hotkeys. I have to open the book and go to the page I need. Is that us there? Let's see. I think I have a hunch. I think so. Or the little person icon. Okay. Well, let me go to the mysterious circle lake, I guess. Seems to be over here. Why is my dragon snorting? Okay, I need to go east. Oh, that's the mysterious circle island. Okay. Donk. Good landing. What have we? Dragon repeatedly. Why am I repeatedly colliding with something? What is this? What is this sound? What? Oh. She's very excited. She might explode. Speaking of nukes. Again. It may not be a finished version. But still. Is this what you want to present? Well, let's go ahead and complete the one objective I have. We're going north. Oh, apparently we're going far up in this. Okay. No, up. No, you fool. God, this dragon is hard to control. I was standing on the ledge. That's fine. Perfectly reasonable. I really don't know at this point, boy. I think the dragon can't fly straight up. I think that's what I'm learning. I mean, you tell me what you're missing here. Right. Well, I have an objective. It's a dumb one, but I have one. So... I think it's just him telling me he doesn't want to fly any higher. Fine. What? Can't breathe in space? Come on now. What a wuss. You know, when he goes straight down, I don't even know why he is, because I'm trying to tell him to go up. But, you know, that's fine. This is good. It's very good. Excellent. I think I'm actually kind of stuck. You know what? Hold on. I'll see how sheer a wall she can climb. Fairly. Okay. About that. Oh. Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho! Ho! She is a master at keeping her balance in steep slots. Steep angles. It's such a... I think I'm done with Ayre now. Oh, Ayre. You're too early. You're released into a reviewable, streamable build way too early. You have to work on your performance, and honestly, even getting past the polish issues, I don't really see how this would stay engaging. It's alright, but it's not anything special. Kind of chill. I mean, it's nice music. I can see myself relaxing to it, but not really having fun with it. A boring relaxation, I guess you could say. That was Ayre.